Yes, Baron Bullshyster. Baron Bullshyster here for another fable from Fartwell. Well, now what's been happening? Well, after the last weirdy beardy video, the old hipster beard video and catching the beards and stuff, bit of a problem at Fartwell. You see, the animal rights activists have come to the village, you see, and they obviously saw my video that I posted online at the library, and they've gone round. They've got these banners, you see, they're going round, and they've got these banners saying, "Get the Garys." That's the Garys, the gamekeepers. Gary the gamekeepers. Yes, get the Garys. And Baron is best, you see. Baron is best. And what they've been doing, if they see one of these if they see a Gary walking along, you see, they bash them with the blooming signs, don't they? Well, the old Lord Fartwell, you see, he's got a bit suspicious, you see, and he wants me to sign, because all members of staff, they all have to sign confidentiality agreements, you see, so that everything, what happens in Fartwell stays in Fartwell, if you see what I mean. But I don't have one really, because I don't work for the Fartwells. I just live here really. I'm just a sort of general dog's body, you see, general dog's body. So what he does, you see, when he has like a maid come in for an interview, he actually gets them to sign a confidentiality agreement before the interview, you see, because he gets them up in his office for the interview, and he sees how good they are at polishing a candlestick, apparently, and that's part of if you're going to be a maid at Fartwell Manor, that's one of the things you have to do is polish the candlestick, and if you're good at it, you tend to get the job, you see. But anyway, this episode is all about a day at the races. A day at the races. That's what we're going to do. A day at the races, you see, because where I live in the stables above the horses, and one of the horses in the stable is called Nothing Ned. Nothing Neddy, really. Nothing Neddy, or Naughty Neddy sometimes, as we call him. But so that's Lady Fartwell and Lord Fartwell's racehorse, you see, and so they take him to the races, you see. And the other day, this is the story I'm going to tell you about. The other day, which luckily I haven't signed the confidentiality agreement, because I shouldn't really be telling you this. So what happened, you see? Well, at breakfast, Lady Fartwell said to Lord Fartwell, she said, "I'm going to the races today. I'm taking Nothing Ned with us. Give him a run out, you see. Give him a good run, and old Brigadier Cheatham's coming. Because he's got a big tip, and he's going to give it to me when we get to the races, you see. I'm going to get a big tip," and she was very excited about this, you see. And so what happened, you see? So she got to the races, and she got this big tip off of the old. She got the old Brigadier's big tip, you see. She got it, and she was very excited about it and everything. And when she come and went and got the money, she went and got the money because she'd won. She'd won, you see. The tip worked, you see. But the only trouble was, poor old Brigadier. What happens? He goes down with the flu, you see. He goes down with the Fartwell flu, the famous Fartwell flu. And I don't know if I've told you, Peter Penrose and other people have gone down with it. And so it makes you go completely nuts, you see. It makes you go bananas, you see. It makes you go bananas. In fact, he was so bananas, he was one banana short of a full bunch. Yes, that's right. I don't know what happened to the other, the one that was missing. Okay. But anyway, one banana short of a full bunch, you see. And so how did this flu develop, you see? Well, basically, Brigadier Cheetham, he thought he was one of the race, or he thought he was the winner of the race. You see, he thought he was the horse. You see, and he got the horse whip. You see, and he started to whip himself and run up and down the race course. You see, he was going, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. Come on, come on, come on, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. You see, it's very embarrassing, very embarrassing. So what did they do? Freddie the footman, who drives the horse box, they managed to round him up, you see, and they managed to get him in the back of the horse box, you see. And Lately Fartwell had to get in the back with him, and Freddie drove the horse box back to Fartwell Manor, you see, drove it back to Fartwell Manor, and what happened? What happened then? Yes. Oh, Lady Fartwell got in the back. This is probably why I needed to sign a confidentiality. Got in the back of the horse box, you see, and the only way she could calm him down was to ride him around inside the horse box on the way back to Fartwell, you see. So there was all that going on, and when they turned up, when they got back to Fartwell, of course, I'm in the stables, you see, trying to sort stuff out, and all this kerfuffle turns up, you see, and Lady Fartwell said, Baron, you've got to help, you've got to get Brigadier into the stables, because what happened was they had to leave Naughty Ned, or Nothing Ned, behind, you see, and they actually had to get one of the other trainers to take Nothing Ned back to their stables, you see, and so she said, you've got to put Brigadier into the stables, you see. Oh, I thought, oh no, I'm not really having this, you see, I'm not having this. So she goes off, and old Fred clears off and everything, and I'm left there with Brigadier, you see, jigging around he is, you see. So he's doing the old horsey bit, you see, and I said to him, you're not staying here, and he said, I've got to have my oats, and I said, well, I think you've had enough oats for the day, I said, and he said, no, I've got to have my. So what I did, I got Nothing Ned's nose bag, you see, and I shoved it over his head, you see. I shoved it over Brigadier's head, you see. And I don't know if you know this, but if you put a blindfold on a horse, you can basically lead them anywhere and stuff, and makes them a bit more placid. So I managed to get this nose bag over his head, and I led him up the path to the privy. Yes, we've got a brick privy. So I shoved him in there and locked him in there for the night, you see. So great, so I managed to get a good night's sleep, and nobody knew about it. And so in the morning, I'd forgotten all about him, you see. I'd forgotten all about him. And old Dan, one of the gardeners, he went up the path to the privy, and he found Brigadier. He found the Brigadier in the privy, and guess what? He was completely cured. The flu had completely gone, and he was back to normal. Back to normal. We can't believe it, because normally the flu lasts for a couple of weeks or so. So what happened? Well, of course now we've got some pharmaceutical companies in Fartwell, and if you want to go and use the privy, you've got all these people in there with nose bags over their heads, locked in the privy, so you can't use it. So it's a bit awkward, because they're doing all this research into the flu. But anyway, so that's the story. The other thing is, if you're going to put a bet on Nothing Neddy, right? Never bet on him, right? Never bet on him. And if you are going to put a bet on him, the tip is in the name, Nothing Neddy. That's how much you put on him. His best position is 4th, right? And there was only 4 horses running. So definitely don't put any money on Nothing Ned. So cheers everybody, and see you again for another exciting video from Fartwell Manor. Cheers. So cheers everybody, and toodaloo for now, and come on over to the website at bullshyster.com. I don't know if you can see that there or not. Come on over to bullshyster.com, and then you will get all the fables from Fartwell. Fabulous fables from Fartwell. So cheers everybody, toodaloo for now.